my sexy Egyptian walk. I don't know if you know this, but I tried out for the Mummy. I didn't get it. But they like the walk.
I wonder why you didn't get the part. What is going on, Movie Meals? Did you like Kyle's sexy Egyptian walk is what he's calling it? Comment below, let us know right now.
I know he did.
All right, if you couldn't tell, we're going to talk about The Mummy, Tom Cruise, the first film in this dark universe that Universal's got going on.
Yep.
So we're here to talk the positives, the negatives. Do you want to go first?
No, man, you take this
All
one.
right, I'm going to
walk.
throw this out towards the end. I feel like I'm going to have a hard time giving this film a rating, and I'll explain why, but I'll start with the positives. So this film, I think all of the actors do the job they were given. The script read one thing, and they followed what they were told. That Alex Kurtzman said, this is what I want you to do, and they followed it. So I actually think the actors all did pretty well. I think they did exactly what they were told. Tom Cruise always brings 110%, no matter how good or bad the film is. I really like Sofia Boutella a lot. I thought she was great as the Mummy. And I thought some of the... sorry, I've lost train of thought for a second. Some of the big action scenes I really liked, and there were some really cool horror elements that I really liked, and some very specific scenes that I want to see just those scenes again, because I thought they were very powerful, they were very action-packed, and yet horror-filled all at once. But yeah, so those are my positives.
Yeah, almost the same thing as what you were saying. I really liked...
makes you a copycat.
That's fair. I really... Now you lost my train of thought, dang it.
Yeah!
No, I thought that what this movie did a very good job on was showing some horror elements, especially in the first half of this movie. There was moments throughout the first act where I actually was like a little bit freaked out in some spots. Like they really showed that the Mummy had this sense of horror and
power.
And power too, especially.
She had power.
Yeah, and she was played well by Sofia Boutella. I really have been digging her in the past movies that she's been in, and I continue to look forward to whatever she's in next. So she was great as long.
Atomic Blonde, I think, is the next film we'll see her in. Later in a couple months.
As well as Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe, I thought were the standouts as well.
I really liked Russell Crowe a lot.
I really liked the two of them. They're great actors, and they really delivered 110% in this movie, I thought. So yeah, I thought the horror elements were great. I thought the special effects were pretty darn good, as well as the action sequences and some of the horror spots, especially in the first half of this movie, is where you saw the most of that.
The special effects were really good. That's something I forgot to mention. But it's got big action sets and good horror elements that I think work really well. There are really good scenes in this film. But transitioning to my negatives, overall, the film, to me, did not work. It's got, I think, a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. I think that's too low. I really do. I don't think the film's that bad, and I might be more optimistic at going in seeing that it was that low. But it does have issues, and I think the biggest issue is by far the script. You can tell, I had read earlier that there was 6 or 7 writers in this film, and I think you could tell it couldn't decide what it wanted to be to me. It couldn't decide if it wanted to be real horror and really grasp that horror dramatic element, or if it wanted to be a little bit more action-packed, or if it wanted to be a comedy. I thought there's a side character that's with Tom Cruise, and I actually like that actor in Jurassic World, and that's pretty much about it. And he's in Jurassic World for 2 seconds. He's in it. What's the show he's in?
New Girl.
New Girl. Okay,
Yeah.
I've never seen the show, so I'm sure he's probably funny, and he's got moments, but he's just... They threw him in here to be moments in other shows.
Okay, yeah.
In this film, he's, I think, a waste. He's just there to be hey, look at me, I'm the funny guy, like a clown. And it doesn't work. Tom Cruise has a few funny lines, but it's in a script that's not written well, and it's because of his delivery that it works. The main female lead is a complete waste of a character. She's a complete, and it was really hard. I heard a lot of people saying this as critics before I went into The Mummy, and I have to echo it. It's hard to go from a week of Wonder Woman to just powerful written female characters to, Sofia Boutella is really good, and I love that they went with a female Mummy for this, but then the main lead, who's supposed to be the love interest, she's just a damsel in distress the whole time, and she's just always like, Tom, save me, and even the moments where she's shows how strong she is, she's really just she's not being smart, and they didn't write her to be smart or strong, and that bothered me. I wish they would have written her a little bit better, and that's why I think the script has a lot of issues. I want to say the editing has issues too, but I honestly think that's the script. I think the script called for that style of editing, and there wasn't much the editors had to do with it, because it's not paced very well. And it just felt script-worthy to me because it's a lot of like, we're here, now we're here, the plot's here now, so we're here. Like, that's what it felt like. So I ended up having more negatives than positives, which really stinks because I'm actually rooting for this dark universe. And I think if they can go dark and stay that dramatic tone, that horror tone, I think it'll work out really well for them. Not necessarily rated R. You can keep a big couple action set pieces, but if you do a not in the vein of, not completely Chronicle, but kind of along those lines. Don't have to go R, action-packed, ridiculous, but have a little bit more of that horror to it, because I'm excited to see more of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm excited for this Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, and more of the Mummy characters. I'm excited to see that, so I hope they learn from this film. And they're not going to get discouraged. They will continue even if this film doesn't make a whole lot at the box office. Yeah. So I hope they end up fixing this. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a long rant there with my negatives, but go for it.
No, that's all right. While you were saying that, I was just remembering your little clown hog joke, and it killed me. It killed me.
It's not a joke. That's literally, they were like, here, put a nose on, see?
Yeah, the script really falls flat. I mean, they try a lot of having humor in between all the horror and action elements, and it falls flat almost the entire movie. Yeah. It looked promising towards like the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden it was just like, where was the humor that I liked in the first 5 minutes? It just disappears, and you can see that the actors are trying, but the script doesn't work. It's not funny. It's actually they actually make the characters really bland in their script, as Alex was saying. Like, the funny guy wasn't all that interesting, and throughout his arc was really weird and just bizarre for them to put into this movie. The female lead, not Sophia Boutella, but the other actress who I'm spacing, she seems like she's a terrific actress, but her character just falls flat, and it's just a damsel in distress, like Alex previously mentioned. A lot of tonal shifts going from, like I said, the first act, it had a lot of horror elements, which I really liked. But then right with the second act,
the whole thing.
I felt it more in the first half personally than the second half. The second half to me just felt like a straight action film, which is fine. But I rather that they still kept those horror elements that I really liked in the first half. And then the last final negative that I'll go on was that there was just a lot of setup. You can tell that throughout the dialogue they were trying to have all this setup going on, and you can see it when every character is trying to explain, like, what's happening, what's going to be the lead into this, like, oh, this object does this object, and then we have to do this and this and this, instead of just having a nice continuous story that tells us what's going to happen without having the characters point towards this camera and explain everything to us. So the script was definitely the weakest part, and it was probably the biggest negative that impacted me more than the positives.
Me too, man. But that's where I'm going to have a hard time rating this film. I'm going to try real hard right now because I did enjoy parts of it. Mm-hmm. I did like the horror. I think they stuck a little bit of the horror, not necessarily scene-wise horror, and towards the end, but there were small moments where you're like, all right, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking towards the third act. Well, all right, it does get a little bit action-packy, which is fine, but go that Chronicle route a little bit. Not that intense, but that's the style, because they have big action set pieces in that film. That's what I think they should do. Anyway, so I'm going to end up giving this film, I think I'm going to go a 6 out of 10. Leaning towards a 6.5, and it stinks because I'm rooting for this film. I love Tom Cruise. I'm rooting for the films moving forward, so I hope the next film, whether that's Invisible Man or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Frankenstein's Monster, The Bride of Frankenstein, any of those, I want to see, or The Wolfman, I hope they learn from this. But yeah, so I'm going to go 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'll be in the same range as him. I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. The script just really is the weakest part, and unfortunately it just takes the movie down a whole couple of notches to where it could have been something great, but it just ended up being very bland to me.
Yep. Hey guys, what did you think? Did you see The Mummy this weekend? Comment below, let us know. Hey, we got a couple other great videos on our channel. We got our Wonder Woman just a normal review. We've added a spoiler review that a lot of you were asking for, so please go support those. If you saw Captain Underpants, we got that up. We're going to see It Comes at Night, hopefully tomorrow or later this weekend, so that'll come up probably towards the beginning of the next week. So watch out for that because we're really excited for that film.
Yeah.
And the summer's ramping up as we keep hitting these blockbusters, so thank you guys so much for all the support. And thank you, my moms, for watching as always.
See you guys.